First of all, on behalf of Asma Jahangir Foundation and its partner organization, I express my profound gratitude to all of you, both in the audience and my worthy panelists, for taking out time to attend this August event. In fact, this shows your commitment and attachment to Kashmir issue, an issue which most of you may not help but agree that has a direct bearing on progress, prosperity, rather survival of the state of Pakistan. A very warm welcome to all of you at this important discourse. Before I proceed, let me introduce myself, because most of you may not have my introduction. I am Tariq Nakash. I was born and bred in Muzaffarabad, where more than 2 decades ago I started working as a reporter for a prestigious English language daily of Pakistan. But I don't think that's my proper introduction. Actually, I am a member of a divided Kashmiri family, which are the worst victims of Kashmir conflict. My father was an innocent adolescent when he migrated to Azad Jammu Kashmir in 1956 at the age of 17 years out of his love for Pakistan. Here he lived for another 45 years. All those years I heard him yearning to revisit his birthplace, but in vain. One sad evening, he died and was buried in Muzaffarabad along with his lifelong desire. 12 years before the death of my father, his hopes for a reunion with his loved one across the divide were rekindled when the Kashmiris took up arms. Then the freedom of Kashmir seemed a matter of months, if not weeks. But alas, that did not happen. Because this was perhaps because my father and most of the Kashmiris believed or hoped that the way India had militarily intervened in East Pakistan in 1971 and helped anti-Pakistan guerrillas, it will also take its revenge in the internationally acknowledged disputed territory of Jammu and Kashmir, occupied by India against the will of its inhabitants by supporting them militarily. But that did not happen. Even though there were some times when the writ of Indian government was literally eroded by the freedom fighters in occupied Kashmir. Let me jog your memories. In October 2009, then India's Foreign Minister Natwar Singh had stated at a news conference that as far as internal autonomy of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, quote unquote, the sky is the limit. 12 years down the line, today, the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir stands divested of whatever little autonomy or special status it enjoyed, thanks to India's villainy and our complacency. India has not only brazenly stripped occupied Jammu and Kashmir status, but it has also intensified terror and savagery in occupied territory. Not only has it muzzled press, the local traditional media, but it has also been booking ordinary people under the draconian laws for use of social media. Extrajudicial killings are the order of the day. Remember, August 5, 2019 was not an overnight decision. BJP had made its intentions about Kashmir special status known much earlier. Question naturally rises as to what we had been doing or what we have been doing. Early this month, Dawn carried an article by a former Pakistani ambassador, Javed Hassan, on its op-ed pages. Let me read out the intro of this article, quote unquote. The effectiveness of a policy must be judged by its results. Looked at from this perspective, our Kashmir policy, which is closely related to our India policy, cannot be considered a success. On November 11, speaking at a conference organized by Kashmiri Global Council, Asad Durrani, a former chief of Pakistan's premier spy agency, reportedly maintained that Pakistan had failed to frame a national strategy on Kashmir and had thus made a series of mistakes. Mr. Durrani called Pakistan's response to India's August 5 move as the most pathetic response. These are just two views by the persons who held positions of authority in Pakistan. There might be more similar voices, but recalling them at this moment would not serve our purpose. If we keep on discussing what Pakistan could not do or did not do, it would amount to be crying over spilled milk. Similarly, a lot has been said to acclaim and glorify and exalt the supreme sacrifices of the Kashmiris. But mere appreciation does not serve the purpose of the Kashmiris either. We need to move forward to translate these sacrifices. We should not wait for the death of the last Kashmiri. Today, I would like our worthy panelists to dilate upon the way forward. How can we rid the Kashmiris of oppression, everyday killings, terror, pellet guns, molestation, and so on and so forth? What steps Pakistan can and should take in this regard without further ado? A change has taken place in our neighborhood. I am referring to Afghanistan. Will it or can it have any positive effect on the Kashmiri struggle? How can we invoke the jurisdiction of international organizations like Security Council, International Court of Justice, or International Criminal Court? With Modi at the helm in India, apparently in many more years to come, how can we make a progress? Recently, in response to Dr. Farooq Abdullah's suggestion to Indian government to talk to Pakistan, Amit Shah, India's Home Minister, ruled it out, saying, I would prefer to talk to youth. With no talks between India and Pakistan in sight, how can we move forward? If the authorities in Pakistan are bereft of any fresh idea, Kashmiris themselves should be given a lead role, and they can come up with a creative plan.